sports today, family members, and yes, it has just been close to 11 hours where we have seen the conclusion of a very long and lengthy 2 day international between India and Pakistan at the Ketarama Stadium. And whatever be the circumstances of this match, fair, unfair, it does not take out the fact that India have gotten 2 points and Pakistan's net run rate has taken a massive hit, minus 1.892 plus 4.5. And because of Pakistan's woeful performance, a chances of an India versus Pakistan final in this Asia Cup has dimmed significantly. You can check out the video that I've done in the morning about what happened in the India versus Pakistan clash. Because now after this game, there are only two more matches left in the Asia Cup. One, it will be played on the 14th between Pakistan and Sri Lanka. The second game will be between India and Bangladesh. Today, it is India versus Sri Lanka and back-to-back ODIs. Well, it's nothing new for this Indian cricket team because in 2018 in Dubai, during the ODI Asia Cup, you did play two back-to-back ODIs. One was against Hong Kong, where you won by 26 runs. The other match was against Pakistan, which you won by 8 wickets. So, playing back-to-back ODIs for this team is nothing new in that aspect. But 11th September, you had the reserve day, and luckily because of that, or unluckily because of that reserve day, the entire table has changed in the Asia Cup. Now, the weather today. The weather for the India versus Sri Lanka match is as bad as it was on September 10th. There is rain predicted in Colombo. It is going to be really, really important that the rain stays away today for two teams, Sri Lanka and Pakistan. Because if Sri Lanka are impacted by the rain, then they head into the clash against Pakistan as a virtual shootout. So that is one problem. India, on the other hand, because of their superior net run rate, 3 points, that will be enough for them if either of Pakistan or Sri Lanka win. So, this is the current situation that is there now. Because of India's big win and because of the uncertainty in the weather today as well, we don't know how the match will pan out. So, this is the current situation that we have. The match between India versus Sri Lanka is under a rain threat at the Ketarama. So, if that happens, both teams get 1 point, and that is when the Pakistan-Sri Lanka game becomes a virtual shootout. Whoever wins that goes through to the final. And then the India-Bangladesh game then becomes just a sideshow. So whatever happens, if India wins today, they are all but through to the final. In fact, they are through to the final if that happens. If if Sri Lanka win and Pakistan beat Sri Lanka, then India can also be eliminated providing they beat Bangladesh. So you have a scenario where you have three teams with 4 points, but for all that, it is going to happen. So that is the current situation. The weather that is there at the Ketarama today isn't promising. Now, are there going to be any team changes? I don't think there will be any changes to the team today. Because remember, you're going to play back-to-back matches. KL Rahul needs some game time. You are also going to see some other players, Jasprit Bumrah, get a game time as well. He didn't bowl his full quota. He just bowled 5 overs. So slowly but surely you would want to ease him back. You don't want to rest players for this particular game because final spot is at stake here. So it is a very, very good situation. So yeah, there is going to be no rain threat according to the locals there, but the weather apps do say that it is bad weather. So it is going to be a very problematic situation for both Pakistan and Sri Lanka if India win today. There might not be many changes. You will see the same team that played in the game against Pakistan even for today. Whatever rest and rotation you may want to do, you will probably do it in the Bangladesh game on September 15th. That's the last Super 4 game. And you will then have a clear-cut final. It will really, really be a clear-cut final if it is Pakistan-Sri Lanka, if that heads into a knockout game, if India win today. So, India will not want to do any kind of a rotation. Now, the India-Pakistan game really did answer a lot of questions for Rohit Sharma's side. One, KL Rahul. KL Rahul's form and his keeping form also was simply the thing that India really wanted when it came to confidence. KL Rahul batted brilliantly, batted exceptionally well against the spinners. And that will be the key, because remember, Sri Lanka's spinners are better than the Pakistan spinners at this point in time. So, Pakistan spinners were undone by KL Rahul's sweep shot, his aggression, and Virat Kohli's sublime turbo drive. It was a sight to behold. Virat Kohli, 13,000 runs, 47th ODI century, third versus Pakistan, fourth consecutive at the Ketarama. Make that venue his own. Just like Adelaide, the Ketarama is a valuable addition to Virat Kohli when it comes to run making. Can he make it 5 out of 5? That can very well happen. And remember, if he does that, it is unprecedented. No one, if I have to be really, if I have to think, no one has scored 5 consecutive centuries in a venue, that too in an away venue. That will be really problematic then. So, Sri Lanka face an uphill task. The rain might not come that much today, but it is predicted that rain could play a part. We hope it stays away. Remember, no reserve day for India versus Sri Lanka. So, that is why it is going to be a big problem. Now, at the Ketarama, at this point in time, it may assist spin. So, that is why batting second might not be an option. So, that is why I will say that perhaps win toss, bat first, and India will not make many changes. So, Virat Kohli, KL Rahul, big pluses yesterday for India. Kuldeep Yadav was a huge positive. Hardik Pandya, the way how he's bowling, as well as Jasprit Bumrah, it is going to be a big. If this team comes together, and when Shreyas Iyer comes back, I think this team is potent. That's why I had kept them in one of the teams in the semi-finals at least. But India are just a game away from having that 15 to 20 minutes of a bad time. Remember, India, when it comes to the Asia Cup, they may not be tested that much. The Sena countries could test them. So that is the thing that you have to do. The Sena countries could test them in the World Cup, not so much the Asian bloc. Sri Lanka might have a different opinion about that. If Sri Lanka win today, then it throws the entire Super Force wide open. But knowing India and looking at the confidence that they have, it is a big positive. So that is why Sri Lanka face an uphill task. India with KL in top form, Virat in top form, Jasprit Bumrah, Kuldeep Yadav, Hardik Pandya in top form. I think they are really going to face an uphill task today. But Sri Lanka can do it. As Naveen Nawaz, their assistant coach, was saying, they are resilient under pressure. So that is why it is going to be very important for Sri Lanka to step up and ensure they stay in contention for the playoffs. Now, in the Asia Cup, if you look at it, I'll be doing a special video on the permutations and combinations. What will happen if the teams lose? For India, it is simple. If they lose today, then whoever of Sri Lanka and India, Pakistan wins, they go through to the final. Not necessarily. If Sri Lanka wins both their games, they are through to the final. If Sri Lanka loses both their games, they are out. As simple as that. Because Sri Lanka will only get 2 points. Pakistan and India will have 4 points apiece. So an India-Pakistan final might have dimmed, but it is very much on still, because they just need Sri Lanka to lose 2 games. Now, looking at other sports, there is a big probability that the likes of Sunil Chhetri and Sandesh Jhingan might not be available for the Asian Games. That's a big development that is coming up. The ongoing standoff between the ISL and the AIFF that continues to mar India's participation in the Asiad that is going to start on September 23rd. How will the standoff end? That we will be doing a special video, so stay tuned for that. So I will take some questions at this. I just pray Jasprit Bumrah remains 100% till the World Cup, so please take care of him. Well, we can take care of him, but if certain people are injury prone, Akash, you are really going to, if they're injury prone, they're injury prone. You can't help it. So Naina Cecil is saying, I don't see Sri Lanka beating India with India's current form, but Pakistan versus Sri Lanka could be a 50-50 match. Sri Lanka is pretty strong in their bag. And Naina Cecil, I absolutely agree with you. I mean, Sri Lanka, they have not had a good run against India. I mean, they came close in the Kolkata ODI, but KL Rahul bailed them out of trouble there as well. So, Sri Lanka in the past 5 to 6 years have not had a good run against India, especially in ODIs or in any format for that matter. Yes, in T20Is, they would have beaten India in the 2022 Asia Cup. But apart from that, in the ODIs, Sri Lanka have a lot of catching up to do when it comes to India's performance at this time. Sky will play in the World Cup final at number 5 and we will win. No, come on, yellow guy. I mean, Surya Kumar Yadav didn't get 26 innings to showcase his brilliance. He's going to be picked directly in the World Cup final, and at whose behest? If Shreyas Iyer is fit and if he performs, there is no place for Surya Kumar Yadav. I'm very sorry. He may be a brilliant batter, but I don't think that situation will happen. Then Ramesh Kumar, I absolutely kind of agree. He's not good for 50 over ODI. But Sky also, if he gets one knock, then I think his ODI form could be revived. Because remember, if he gets a long rope, he could prosper at this point. Dilan Pereira, Sri Lanka will win. Well, it will be good for the Asia Cup if Sri Lanka win, because remember, it will throw the entire Super Force wide open. Otherwise, if India win, they are all but through to the final. Sri Lanka, Pakistan, whoever wins out of that, they will join them in the final. So simple. If India win today, finals berth is theirs. So in that way, let's see if there is any other questions. And well, we the people, Manoj was with Sports Tak, my friend. He wasn't with us at all. Manoj Dimri, I think you're mistaking people here, mistaken identity. I would suggest, please, you have your original name and get people's name right for once. And I answered your question, we the people. So BBC showing 40% rain from 3 to 7. Akash, but again, the weather in Sri Lanka is very fickle, boss. Yesterday evening, there was supposed to be rain from 10 o'clock onwards, 9 to 10 o'clock. What happened? It didn't rain. Sri Lanka's weather is very, very fickle. It can rain, it can pelt down, but it can also ensure it stays away. It all depends on the wind, it depends on the clouds, where it comes from the ocean side. So I don't think it is going to be like that. So still on Pereira, that's why I said no rain for Sri Lanka matches. I mean, yes, you're not going to see that much of rain. You'll see probably India continue the domination over Sri Lanka, unfortunately or fortunately, whatever side of the spectrum you're on. So in that way, please tell Nick sir to tell Rohit to keep Justino safe in fielding. But why should it scare you? I mean, gosh, be brave. Just like the teams that participate in the World Cup, be brave. Because injuries are part and parcel of the sport that you play in. Shreyas Iyer, who would have thought, taking a high catch, he gets a back spasm. That's the risk. When you sign up to play the sport, injuries come with you. So that is why it is going to be. Any changes in the Indian team, Prince Raj? I had said in the video previously, no changes. I see no changes. The changes might happen maybe for the Bangladesh game, not so much for the Sri Lanka game, because finals is at stake here. So you could see some rotation in the Bangladesh game, because that is 99.9% a dead rubber. Because if the results go, if India beats Sri Lanka, either of Pakistan or Sri Lanka win, they are in the finals. So that is the situation. So Chris Cairns joins us. Shami should play. He should, but I think he'll only get a chance in the Bangladesh game. He won't get a chance in this game. So that is all about the questions of the Asia Cup. We have seen India put on a dominant show against Pakistan. Whether we see a repeat of the CT 2017, we don't know. Pakistan were thrashed even then. And now you're seeing them at this point. So by the way, there was a bit of good news for all India-Pakistan fans who wondered. Yesterday, Jai Shah put out a tweet stating that there was 2.8 crore concurrent views when Virat Kohli had gotten a century. That was the peak. And it surpassed the 2.5 crore concurrent that India had achieved against New Zealand in the 2019 World Cup. Highest viewership. So that viewership numbers, it's all going to be really, really, it's kind of a good way. But looking at the quality of the match, and of course Virat Kohli's brilliant century, how would you get 2.8 crores? That's the situation. Do you think India versus more important than India versus Pakistan? See, this game is important now because finals is at stake. As simple as that. But as far as the rivalry is concerned, India are dominating at this point in time. So that's why India, Sri Lanka, the way how it is, and because you got a result in the India-Pakistan game, it is much more important now. So if Sri Lanka lose, they are also all but out, depending on the Sri Lanka-Pakistan match. And remember, if Sri Lanka-Pakistan gets washed out and Sri Lanka lose, then Sri Lanka will go through to the final because of a better net run rate. So that is the current situation that we have at this point. So thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this live. We're going to be building up at 2 p.m. for India versus Sri Lanka, the second game for India in the Super 4 stage, and it will be all played at the Ketarama. Hope the rain stays away. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this live. We'll be back with more updates on sports today. Tap that bell icon so when we go live, and don't forget we're on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. Bye bye.